Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is David from Daveden Web Dev, and on this channel I like to talk about all things WordPress, especially about accessibility and dynamic data. If you can see me, if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments so that I know everything is good and we can start from there. But today's live stream is mainly just going to be about dynamic shortcodes, and we're just going to be answering general questions about dynamic shortcodes and see if you have any questions. Please let us know in the comments. Hopefully someone in the comments will be able to answer your questions, because I can see we have some really good people in the comments who can answer all your questions. For me, I'm just more like a spokesperson right now. But yeah, let's keep listening. So hopefully if you can hear me, if you can see me, please let me know in the comments that everything is good. So just let it stay for a little bit and we can continue from there. So yeah, like I was saying, it's been a long time. This is the first stream for 2025. Okay, a little louder. Let me increase it a bit. How is it? Okay, no, is it better now or is it still too low? Just let me know in the comments. Okay, so still faint. Okay. Let me just. I don't know, that has always been my problem with my mic. It's always very low for my live streams, because for regular videos I can always easily increase the volume after the fact. But for the live streams, okay, yeah, it says it's better, so good. All right, so let me know. There's a poll going on in the comments because we want to just know your general idea about, have you started using dynamic shortcodes? Are you still using the dynamic tokens? Because I know a lot of people are still using dynamic tokens. They're not yet ready to switch over to dynamic shortcodes. So we'd like to know your general thoughts in the comments. And yeah, so okay, let me close that. Okay, that's closed. All right, so and for today's video, so it's basically three things I'm going to be doing. And hype it. So let's start with the pleasantries. So, hi Eddie, hi Pete, hi Catalyst Web. Thanks for joining in. Did I miss any other person? Okay. The dynamicooo team are here. So if you have any questions, just direct it to them now. You know that they are live, so you can always ask them. If I can answer the question, I will answer it. Otherwise, they can just answer it directly from the chat and we'll see. So yeah, if you don't know what dynamic shortcodes is, let me try to pull up the website so you can go ahead and see dynamic shortcodes. Let me reduce the font size a little bit. Okay. So yeah, so dynamic shortcodes just helps you show dynamic data anywhere within WordPress. So as long as the field allows you to use dynamic data, dynamic shortcodes can help you out. The features are so much. If you can see under the features, I don't know why my system is. Let me refresh the page and see. Okay, yes, so now it's working. So the features there are a lot. So you can work with ACF. You can do arithmetic, like number calculations. You can say addition, subtraction. You can do some kind of modulo calculations as well, divisions, multiplications. You can get any field from the author. You can cache your queries. You can cache anything like ACF fields. You can put it into a cache. It works with conditional logic, so you can say if. You can use a switch statement. You can do nested ifs. You can use equality. You can say if A and B are true, then do XYZ. You can use even cookies. You can use the date, and it works with across the board. So it works with ACF, it works with Jet Engine, it works with Metabox, it works with pods, and soon you will integrate well with ACPT. You can use the fields normally with ACPT already, but they want to have a deeper integration with ACPT in the future, so you also be able to do that. Then there are other things. If there are any other things, they will let you know in the comments. Hi, Dimitrio. Thanks for joining in. You can work with media files and so many other things there. So if you have not seen some of the videos already, I know Paul did a video where he explains everything in depth. There was the other video by, let me put it up. There have been a lot of videos about dynamic shortcodes, in case you've not seen it yet. So dynamic shortcodes, FSE, I believe. So if you are working with full site editing, you can watch Pascal's video. He explains a lot about dynamic shortcodes in full site editing. So regardless of your page builder, dynamic shortcodes can work for you. So yeah, let me go back and see the poll. Right now, it says that about 50% are using the dynamic shortcodes as a standalone plugin. Because if you don't know, with dynamic shortcodes, they have done it in such a way that is quite nice, where if you have dynamic content for Elementor already, that means they are one of their long-lasting customers. You can already get the dynamic shortcodes as an add-on, because this is where some people are now getting it a bit wrong, which I'll try to explain. That's why they did the poll to see if you're still using dynamic tokens. I saw a comment on Facebook recently where the person was like, he's refusing to basically install a new plugin because because we've all been like taught that extra plugins are bad, but not all the time, Because I know a lot of people were always trying to cut down on the number of plugins. We want to have only like 8 plugins on our website. Anything above 8 plugins it feels bad, which I totally understand, because the more plugins you have, the more points of vulnerability, like the more points of failure. But in this case, Dynamic Shortcodes is a really powerful plugin that it's completely like makes dynamic tokens look very like limited, because there are so many things you can do with dynamic shortcodes, and it is very lightweight. It's about, I think the whole plugin itself is about 200 kilobytes or something. Then so that is it's not so that's the whole plugin. What it now gets into the front end is just minimal. It's not much compared to the dynamic tokens inside the dynamic shortcodes and inside the dynamic content for Elementor. That one had a lot of, like, it's not bad, but it's slow. It has so many things that are limited there. So it's better to use the dynamic shortcodes, which I've been using and I've been loving it because I use it everywhere. I've even forgotten how to write the dynamic data in some page builders like Bricks. So rather than writing the Bricks notation, nowadays I just use the dynamic shortcodes notation, and it's so easy for me. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that is one question that yeah. The the whole question about which plugin, that this plugin is bad, the plugin, I feel that yes, we should cut down on plugins, but if you've ever used any of these form plugins like Jet Form Builder or WS Form, you will notice that everything is actually an add-on, because they've seen that sometimes it's better to separate the concerns, so that whenever anything is wrong, you can now focus all your attention on that one tiny thing rather than the whole plugin breaking people's sites. You create smaller modules, and those modules now each team can focus on each module and say, okay, this is this one does this, that one does that. So if anything breaks in that module, you can quickly find the module and solve it. Similar to how people do with like code snippets plugin. You don't just write all of your PHP code in one block. You tend to put all of your code snippets into different sections, so you can toggle each of them on and off and all of that. So I think that's the same thing we should think about with this plugin. That's why they came up with this solution where we get the oh yeah, hi, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, Piero. Hi. Thanks for joining in, and hopefully everybody can get their questions solved. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and we can quickly look into it. I try to solve two problems that I just encountered recently, just simple problems, just to show you how dynamic shortcodes could potentially work for you. So if you have any questions, before that, then I will switch over and start. I'll be using both Elementor and Breaks today. First, I will probably start with Elementor. Then I'll switch over to Breaks. And if you have any question in any of the builders, please just let me know and we'll switch over to that builder. So I'll switch over now. Okay. So this is a testing site I have for Elementor. And one thing I was just checking out today was about forms. Because I think Pete mentioned in the Facebook community saying about the select field, how to use the ACF select field or something like that, or how to populate, I don't know, something that had to do with populating select fields. So I just want to show you that depending on the form plugin you have, you can populate it however you want. So for example, let me use Elementor in this case. I think I created a page already, yeah. Dynamic content for Elementor. So I've already created this form and I've linked it. Basically what this form does is that it creates a post on the front end called reviews. And all you have is you put your name, you put your email, your services. Let me just go ahead and even test the form. So let's say my name is, let me say, David Bright. The email is, let's say, info@daveden.co.uk services. So maybe say the service I'm trying to review is the marketing service or maybe web design. Rating is between 1 and 5. So let's say I have a rating of 5. The title is my website was built to standard or in good time. Then the review is this website was built professionally and in good time or something like that. So let me just go ahead and send these. And you see, so this was done using the dynamic content for Elementor in addition to dynamic shortcodes. So basically all it just does is takes the name that the person filled and then it puts it in the form submit message. Then what else? And now when we go to the backend, so let's see. I just did this form now, so it might not be working as expected, but let's see. If I go to the reviews, let's see. Okay, the web design. Okay, no, it was built in good time. So it was immediately added here, and everything was included. So we have the comment, we have the author, the email, the rating, and all of that. Okay, did I? Oh yeah, so I guess I didn't connect the actual Oh yeah, I connected the content into the block editor, but I also added another field, so that's my bad. But yeah, this is just basically it. You can now let's see how to do something, which is if I come back to my services, these services that I created here that you can see marketing, business, the web design, and so on, all of these were dynamically pulled from the taxonomy. So let me show you what I mean. So this is actually the taxonomy term. Let's go to reviews, services, and you can see them: business, marketing, and web design. So how was I able to pull this in? Is using dynamic shortcodes. Let me show you the shortcode. All I'm using is, if you come over to dynamic shortcodes here, let me come over to features, and I believe it's query. Yes, query. You'd see that in the docs, we can query anything we want. So we can query posts, users, terms, and who orders. This is from the dynamic shortcodes part. Now let's go to the Elementor section, and you see, so in Elementor, if I come to my form and I go to my select field, which is the service, it says, let me just copy this out, clear it. So if you read the comments there, it tells us that for each option, so you should enter each of them in a separate line. To differentiate between the label and the value, separate them with a pipe character. So all they're trying to tell you is that if you want to write marketing, you write marketing, and then go to a new line and say maybe administration or something, or business or anything, and so on. If you now want to add your value, so that is option for the label and value. If you want to add the value, you put the pipe symbol, and then you put whatever the value is. So let's say maybe 30, 20, 32, put the pipe symbol and say pipe and 30, 25. So what happens now is when you publish this, why is it slow? Okay, and go to the front end, you now see marketing administration. If I go ahead and inspect it, or right click, inspect, if you come into the select field, and let me zoom in a little bit, and you see the options. So basically the label is marketing, or the value is marketing. So you have 32 for the value, marketing for the key or the label, same thing, 25. So this is exactly what I did for the post terms. So all I was just trying to do is basically return the post title, or the term title, and the term ID, because usually it is the ID that we use to add terms into the page. Like when you're trying to use any of these form plugins to update a term or a post, we usually work with the ID. So the post ID, the term ID, and all of that. So now let me go ahead and show you how I created the select field. It is really simple, to be honest. If I come to, let me just go over to Power Shortcodes. Because if you're ever stuck trying to find out what to do, you can always go to the documentation. You can see the documentation there tells us that if you want to query any of them, if you want to query posts, you just say query post, and then you now start using all of the post like arguments. If you want to query users, you want to query anything, you can, it explains everything to you. So in this case, we're trying to query the terms. So all I did was I came all the way to my Power Shortcode. Because we're using query, most of these like query, like anything that has to do with the admin, we tend to prefer that you do it in the Power Shortcode, so that just for security reasons, you don't want just anybody to be able to create it. You want only the admin should be able to create it. So this is what I did. So I said for, then I said a placeholder, query terms. Let's go ahead and even just rewrite it ourselves. So I'll start with a for loop to say I want to start, like when you want to create a loop of items, so we want them to be iterating between items, you can use the for loop, or use the loop if you're using posts. There's another one called loop. But if it's just any other thing like terms, like users, you use the for loop, and the for loop starts with the for with the colon. Then I'll put a placeholder value, say term ID or anything. Then I'll now put what am I trying to loop through. I've created a placeholder. Now I want to loop through that loop through something. So in this case, we're trying to get terms. So we're going to loop through our query of terms. So to create query, oh yeah, oh my that's for Elementor. The Elementor license is this is not. Oh, the license here is for Elementor. I have a lifetime license for Dynamic Shortcodes. This is just for Elementor. Don't worry about that. Because I mostly work with bricks nowadays, so my Elementor license will soon expire. So it says that. So I'll say for the placeholder is term ID. Then what I'm trying to iterate through is the the terms. So I'll say query terms. Then I'll give some arguments like the hide term. So hide empty. So I want all the terms to show up, and I'll say 0. That means do you want to hide empty terms? I'll say no, because I want all the terms to show up. Then what else do I need? Then I have to declare the taxonomy. So I'll say taxonomy equal to, in this case, my taxonomy name was, let's see, if I go under reviews and then services, the taxonomy name is called service. Okay, so if you see the URL at the bottom, you'll have seen the taxonomy name there. So it's called service. And what else? I think that's basically what we need for now. So that's the query. So now we have to create the output template. So it's a 3-step process. So when you're doing a loop, you have to first create a placeholder. Then you tell us what is the array that you're trying to iterate through, and then finally you return the template. So the template, this template can be anything. You can create the template in Elementor, in Breaks, in anything, and then just return the ID of the template here, or you can create it from scratch. So in this case, I'm creating from scratch. Oh, oh yeah. So, I think there are plans to create a course that will start from top to bottom about how to like go through all of these, like learn all of these shortcodes, because every shortcode is in the documentation somewhere. So usually if you look at the documentation, when I say I want to do a loop, so if I say maybe loop, don't know why okay, yes, it's coming up now. So how to use the for loop to cycle through arrays. So you can just go through that, because they're all there in the documentation, but I guess we just need to come up with a structured way. Oh yeah, that hide empty, that was the reason why we added that. If I show, let me see if I can go back. Because I've used a lot of WP query a lot, so that's why I know what to write. But if you come under the, terms, so query terms, you would see this is where they explain everything you can use. So this is where I go. If you go under hide empty, this is what it explains. It says, let me just zoom in so I can see as well. It says, whether to hide empty terms not assigned to any posts. So it accepts either you say 1 or true, or you say 0 or false. The default is that it should hide. So that's why we're trying to go against the default. We want it to show the empty terms. So that's why I just use the hide empty. It comes with all of these query arguments that you can use when you are querying. Okay, so let's just continue with the power shortcode. So we have the placeholder, we have our query. Now let me create the template. Usually I'll just put it in square braces so that everything works, because when you're trying to do multiple like dynamic data together, sometimes it's better to just use it in the square braces. So now let's see what we want to return. We want to return, like it was explained in the Elementor options here. They say we should do key, basically the name, pipe, the value, and then go to the new line. So each of them will start name, pipe, value, new line, name, pipe, value. So to do that in Elementor, we say we want to get the term name, and to make it easy, let's just be doing it from the demo shortcodes, so people can see exactly where all of the shortcodes are coming from. So if you come to the demo shortcodes, you come under, I think it's term, yes. What does it show it here? Okay, yes. So you can see all of these. These are the things you can use. So you can see the term name. So you just have to put term name at whatever the ID is. So term. So I'll just copy this, or you can just press the copy here. And I'll come back to my shortcode. So the first thing we want to get is the term name. So I'll paste that. But the ID, we don't want a static ID. We want to now use the ID from the array, and that's why we created this placeholder. So anytime we want to get the ID, we just replace that ID with our placeholder here. So this ID equal to 7, we now just replace it with the placeholder that we put, say get colon term dash ID. So this will now return the ID of the term. Then, according to Elementor, the next thing we need to do is put a pipe symbol, and we now want to return the ID of the term itself. So we just basically put the placeholder again. So I'll say get term dash ID, and that's it. So this is basically the template for each of them. So the first one will have this template, then the next one will have the same template, the next, so it will start from 0 and just keep incrementing among all of the posts or the terms in this case, and then you just keep adding, it will put the ID into this into this query, and it will return the template. To put the ID again into the query and then return the template. So what we want to do that is, okay, once the first one has been put, we need it to go to the new line. So we now add the last parameter, which is the separator. So that's we put the at SEP, or we can write it in full, separator, SEP equal to, we want to have a new line separator, and in PHP, new line is just dash \n, and we do it in double quotations, not single quotes, double quotes. And basically that should do it, I think, if I did not make any mistake. The only thing that sometimes when I put it in new lines like this, sometimes Elementor will add spaces in the output. So I tend to just remove all of these spaces after I've finished writing all of the code. At least that saves me on characters as well. So I just make everything in a single line, and I'll save it. So if everything works well, I'll just copy this PowerShell code, and I will paste it in anywhere that accepts the dynamic data. So let me just paste it probably in a HTML widget, just so that we can see it. Okay, so this is HTML widget. I'll click on the dynamic tags, go all the way down to dynamic shortcodes, click on the wrench icon, paste it, and you see the output. So it's business-20 new line, but because it's a text, once it's on the output of a regular text, it will remove the space and then just put it back like this. But when you are using it in the select field, it works well, because in HTML, when you put new line on the output, it will still remove that new line to just make it still all in one line, because that's how HTML works. So that's why it's still looking like as if it's in one line, but actually this is a new line and a new line and so on. Okay, yeah, so the team are here, so hopefully they are listening to what you've just said. I agree, we should have some form of AI writer to help us easily write the codes for us. Okay, yeah, so they've already answered the question and say they are working on the GPT model that will help to easily write, because yeah, I do understand that sometimes writing all of these codes or trying to remember some of these codes can be a bit difficult, but yeah, that's it. So now we can now use this shortcode in our select field. So this is the select, and let's now just replace all of these, and we have to use the dynamic data tag, and I'll choose dynamic shortcodes, wrench icon, and what's wrong with my system today? I don't know why everything is freezing. I don't know. I guess this is what happens when you just recently come back to live stream. Some things will just like to go wrong. My system keeps freezing or hanging. No, I can't put it here because unlike breaks, with breaks you can just directly add dynamic data into the text field. With Elementor, you have to use the dynamic tags and then go into dynamic shortcodes, click on the wrench icon, and then paste your dynamic tag there. And if we now go to the front end, publish, and let's see, refresh. This is the service. Okay, let's go ahead and inspect it and see the output. So the output is, now this is the term ID, the value is 20, and the term name is business. So term ID 19, marketing 18, web design, and so on. So Pete, well, we have to accept AI in the world now. Everybody, AI is I guess I'll say AI is the future, because I was watching a recent, I think it was the AI summit or something, where they were talking about AI and they were showing how AI is going to like power everything. To be fair, even my phone now is directly integrated with AI that I am everything I do, it has AI. If I want to open any, I don't know, because if you're all using like a Samsung phone, you would know what I mean. That now, if I want to search anything on my phone, I literally just turn on my Gemini and say maybe open the settings or open whatever setting I want, and it automatically finds that setting for me and opens it, because now I can just speak in natural language. So now AI is taking over the world. So we just have to like use it for our own good. That's the main thing. Don't use it to overrun your life, but it should be used to like integrate well with your life. So that's what I can say. Oh, uh, no, no. Well, we're all young at heart, no matter what age. We're all young, so you can expect. But you'll be surprised that once you start getting into the AI thing, it becomes so easy. Well, I don't know how many people are watching with the DeepSeek and all of the new models that are coming out that are making our lives easier. And yeah, all I'll say is AI is no, no, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't say AI will replace us. I think it's just like I remember when I was in, I think that was in 90s, right? When, because I come from Nigeria, we were still using typewriters to type all of our documents, and the business, they were like, if once computers come, nobody's going to ever use use our services again. But in the end, all we had to just do is learn how to use the computers, and we continued with our businesses, and everything is still working out well. So same thing with this AI, because it's not like AI is learning on its own; it's learning from somewhere. So it still needs our input, because like I've seen a lot of times with a lot of AI plugins, till date, I remember I was using. That's why a lot of people attack me, because I keep banging in on like people should still keep reading, don't just focusing on AI, because I think it was we were a friend of mine and I, we were working on a project, and the AI kept like feeding us some output, and it will tell you that, oh, this is the best output. But I'm like, no, this is not actually the best output, because I know for a fact there are new HTML syntax that does not need all of this JavaScript that is adding. But because the AI is still reliant on like past knowledge, or at least I was using ChatGPT 3.5, so it was still relying on past knowledge. It was still producing code, because I think one of them we were trying to do was just using field set and legend. And literally, ChatGPT 3.5 does not know how to use field set and legend, which has been around for quite a while. But so that's why the AI is not really going to replace us, but it's going to just augment the way we are working. We still need our human brains to like analyze things and think about things and calculate. But yeah, AI will definitely take away some people's jobs, but it also gives some other people jobs. So I think it's just going to just be like a cycle. Some things will end, other things will start. Yeah. Yeah, AI, we would love AI, AI. I think they're already using AI for that. So that's another thing people do. Use it. And I think they're also in the UK, they are working on research to use AI to be able to predict natural disasters. So it can predict when things like flooding or anything is going to happen. So people can like do preventive measures before they even happen. So that is where we're going with all this computational analysis and everything with AI. But yeah, let's switch over back and see. Let me. So the next one we'll do is probably we'll try it out in bricks as well. Just the same code. Or do I have code? I don't know if I have a bricks version of the website. Let me switch over and we'll test it out. Is this bricks? No, these are all Elementor. Let's close all of these. So yeah, we have bricks here, but I don't think I had time to create any posts. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll basically create an array on the fly and see how we can populate a bricks form and a bricks forge pro form using like dynamic shortcodes. The array will be created on the fly basically. So let's go to a page and let me just maybe the about page, edit it. Is there anything there? Okay, so we have this page. Oh yeah, this was for another tutorial. Let me just delete the whole section. And I'll create a section. Okay, let me just give it some of my class names. And I'll drop in a regular form. So bricks form. Oh, sorry, form. So we have the bricks form. Let's delete this. And I'll choose a select field. Let's see, select. And I think the way bricks, so bricks says this similar to Elementor. So bricks says the options should be one per line, and you set your options as value colon label. So with Elementor, it's the opposite. It's label slash or pipe value. In this case, is value colon label. So now let's see if it can work out for us here. So we use dynamic data here. So I'll just say, let's see. So I'll write, or let me just open it, do it in a text widget first. Or maybe a shortcode widget. So we can see it on the preview. I would really love for bricks to, like brick dynamic shortcodes to reconsider and allow us to be able to see the preview of our dynamic data in the page, because for now you can't really see the preview of your dynamic data, and sometimes it's hard to work without the preview. But at least with this, I can actually see the preview if I'm using the shortcode widget. So that's why I always go back to using the shortcode widget. Okay, so now let's say for I'm trying to get my placeholder is term ID, and then I'm just going to create a fake array. So array, and I'm supposed to do a key value pair, right? So what's the best way to do it? At array equal to what's the best way to create a key value pair in dynamic shortcodes? So okay, let me do something weird now. See, at or does anybody have any easy? I wish I could have just let's just create a key value pair. So I'll say maybe the keys, let me say name, or yeah, ID equal to 5 and name equal to testimonial. Then is that how it works? I'm beginning to forget now. It's been a while since I wrote. So an array, you have an array, you put key value. Oh, they have to put in another array. Yeah, that's why. So first, I'll start with just a regular array to make it easy for myself. Then we'll now make it key value pair. So first, I'll start with, let's say, business, marketing. What else? Web design. Yes. So web design. Okay. Let me put all of this in single quotes, because usually strings, you put them in single quotes or double quotes. If there is any dynamic data in it, you use the double quotes. If there's no dynamic data, you can just use single quotes for strings. And then for dynamic data, use double quotes or use the square braces. For numbers, you don't really need to put any quotes because they are numbers, they're not strings. So this is the array that we're trying to iterate through. Then the last thing is we want to return a template. So the template, I'll just say get term ID. Okay, yes. And the last option is the separator. So at separator equal to the /n, because this is kind of, it's not the regular text, so I have to use the double quotes. So that's why I'm using the double quotes, then /n. Okay. And like I said, in HTML, you don't actually have new line because it will just replace it back to a regular, but in the form, it will work. So let me get rid of all of these spaces. And okay, what else? Yeah, so this is it. So I'll copy this. Then I'll put it in my form, because the form just needs the key value pair. Or it needs in a new line. So let's see if it works. I'll go over. Yep, and that's it. So this is our select field. If I go and preview it on the front end, for now I've not added any value. So it's just going to be inspect. You just see the value. There's no value, just the keys. So the keys will be the name. Because we didn't add any value, it's just going to take the name as the value. So the key will become the value. That's why it's the same for the key and the value. If you had an array of key value pairs, then this will it will work out well. So that's it. So let me see if I can just quickly create a key value array. Okay. Oh yeah. So I guess that's why it's. So we can't really use it for now. The preview, because yeah, I do understand that sometimes even the BricsForge, when you're using the BricsForge dynamic data, it also doesn't work in the editor. It only works on the front end. Sometimes I think if I can find one of their, let's see if let's say, let me test one out to be sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. So let's see, basic text. Since I have BricsForge active, let me say I want something like the BricsForge, and I choose yeah, actually, yes, Bob, it works with it. That's what, let me go, and before I continue, let me go ahead and go to the beginning. That's one of the most powerful, that's why I like dynamic shortcodes. Basically, it works with across different page builders, and it's the same syntax. You're not changing any syntax. So the moment you learn the syntax for one builder, it works across all of these builders. So basically, Breakdance, Breaks, the classic editor, Elementor, full site editing, Gutenberg, Oxygen, and then across the different custom fields plugin. So ACF, Jet Engine, Metabox, Pods, Toolsets, WooCommerce. You can use the dynamic data anywhere. So, because I actually tested it with Breakdance when I had a license to Breakdance, I tested it there and it worked out. Although Breakdance does it kind of like Elementor, I think it's only Breaks and and that allow you to add dynamic data in line. Elementor and Breakdance, you have to click on the dynamic data tag and then add the dynamic data there, so it makes it a bit limited. So you cannot just use the direct text editor to put in dynamic data. You have to go to the, like I showed here with Elementor. If you go to any of the pages, say, let's see, post types, and let me say page, and maybe sample, the home page. Because like I showed here with breaks, all I have to do is directly here within the text area, I can just say something like post colon title if I'm using dynamic shortcodes. And if you go to the front end, you see the post title is about, which is the name of the page. You can do anything, but with Elementor and with Breakdance, you basically have to come into the dynamic tags here and add your dynamic data in the tag. It doesn't work directly. I don't know. Let me rephrase my statement. If you are using the text editor widget, it will work. If you're using any other widget, because it works with the TinyMC editor, but if you're using any other widget, like the heading widget or the image box widget, you have to put it in the dynamic data tag, otherwise it will not work. So yeah, that's just the difference. So, does anybody have any questions? Or while I keep trying to remember how to, so maybe someone can help me out. I'm trying to create an array of just like term name and ID. How do I do that? I usually it takes me a while to do it. I think it's an array, then within the array create another array. Yeah. So I'll say okay, yes, now I remember. Yeah, so it will become array again, and I'll say at ID equal to business and name equal to marketing. Okay, so that's the first array. Close it. Then I have to redo that array for the rest of them. So this is for web design. I'll paste that there. And no, ID is equal to, not business, is equal to 40. Let's say the first one, the ID is 40. And the okay, I think that's a good way to do it. Okay, let's just try it out and see. Name equal to marketing. So the next one, array ID equal to 41, and the name is business. Okay, let's just do those two. Save it and see what comes out on the front end. Okay, so in the front end, so now I just have to, because now it's an array, I can't just use get term ID. I have to do get term ID double pipe symbol ID, I think. Yes, that's it. Okay, so yeah, this is how it works. Then I'll put the colon, and I need to get, because now I've created not a normal post post, or because with posts and terms, the key is the post ID, and then the value is the name or whatever you're trying to return. In this case, because I'm creating the array completely here, so I created an array that says ID equal to 40, name equal to marketing. So when I return the placeholder template into the template, I now have to, the placeholder is returning an array of ID and name. So I now have to get the ID, so that I have to use the double pipe symbol, which is accessing the array ID. And then the second one says, I'll say the same thing, get term dash ID, double pipe symbol, and this time is the name, I think. Let's see if it works. Okay, yes, it works. So that's it. So I'll copy all of these, paste it in my form, Save it. And if all works out well, it should show up on the front end with the ID and the key. So let me inspect it. So in our select field, oh, what did I do wrong? 40 column marketing. What did I do wrong? Okay, so value pipe label. Isn't that what I did? Oh no, column. I'll have to look at that a bit better. I thought it worked. It usually works, but now it's doing the value pipe and is returning it in. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. I was just trying to test out. So I was just trying to, because in my Bricks website, I don't really have any template. So let me just go ahead and do it the same way in Bricks. So let's just create some categories for my posts. So I'll just create yeah, that might be better. So I'll say general. So that makes it easier to work with. General. I'll say maybe marketing. And so we use these ones from the post. So I'll do the same, basically the same thing I did in Elementor. Let's just go ahead and even copy that power shortcode from Elementor. And we'll paste it in Bricks. So this is the shortcode. So just to show you that it works in both Elementor and Bricks. So let me go to Dynamic Shortcodes, power shortcodes. This is Bricks, yeah. So this was in Elementor and this is in Bricks, okay. So I'll create another one. I'll call it maybe category. Paste it. The only thing I need to change here is the taxonomy name. This time is category, not service, because the other one I was using a custom taxonomy. In this case, I'm using Elementor. Label column. Okay, let me try that. Let me try with this first, and then we'll see if okay. So because I think probably it's returning everything as a string, so it's not returning. Oh, I don't know what they are doing, but let's see again with the new shortcode, maybe the power shortcode, and see power category. And let's see, the only difference here is, yeah, I forgot, it's not the pipe symbol, it's supposed to be colon. Then save it. Okay. And see if it works. Refresh. Please, let's see if it works now. Key inspect. Let's clear it. It's still doing the same. Or is this a? Yeah, it's still doing the same thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Thanks for. I was literally reading it and not clicking it. This is how bad I am. Sometimes this is what happens when you're not actually seeing the screen. Thank you. Refresh. And yeah, now it works. Okay, so I just have to switch it over. So I was the one who was making the mistake. So all I have to do is now say the ID first before the name. Okay. So I'll cut this out and put it here. Colon the name. Yeah, because I knew I've used it in Bricks before, so I was wondering why it wasn't working. I didn't know it was just me not clicking a toggle. So yeah, so we get it. General, marketing, uncategorized. These are the taxonomy terms, and if I use that my my array that I created before, which is this one, it should still work. So I copy these array, copy, come back to my form, and I go ahead and paste it. Let me just get rid of this placeholder. And I paste it here without the DSH and without all of these. Okay, there's no more space. Okay, save. And when we go to the front end, I refresh. It's working on marketing and business the same way we have it here, marketing and business. So that's it. Inspect it to be sure. We get our select field. The field value is 40. The label is marketing, and that works. So that's for breaks. So you see, all you have to do is you have to follow whatever they say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's true. I know most times when we do like our regular videos, most people have to like prepare for hours and hours just to record a 40 or a 20-minute video. The number of hours, you can ask anybody from Jeffrey to Paul, the number of hours they research before they do their 30 minutes or 20-minute video is a lot. So yeah, I totally. Well, thank you very much. So now let's see the last one before we wrap it up, and that is for BricsForge. BricsForge uses something slightly different. It uses it requires us to return it as a JSON encoded array. So we'll check it out. So let me switch over and let's go back. Let me just close all of these. Which ones are not needed? This is not needed. That's not needed. Okay. Oh yeah, I just closed that page. I should have left it open, but anyway. So we're done with the form. Now the last one we need to do is the BricsForge Pro Forms. So I'll say Pro Forms. Select that. Ready to go. Okay. Let me just delete all of this field. The only field I need is the select field, just to show you how it works with the BricsForge. So Bricks, that is select field. So with BricsForge, they have multiple ways to add options. You can use nestable, where you can create a query loop in your option, or we're going to be working with the dynamic data. This will allow us to use JSON encoded data, which explains here. You need to format it as a JSON encoded data and return it. So basically, it will be, I think, is key and label and the value, right? Okay, so yes, value and label. Yeah, that's it. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. So the same thing, I'll start with my shortcode here so I can see it on screen. So this is the shortcode. The only difference now we're going to do is I want to return it as a JSON encoded array. So I think the way JSON encoded arrays are is that you start with square braces, right? And close the square brace. Was it curly braces? Let's see. Did they explain it again? I always forget this thing. Previously it used to be right. Okay, let me write it. Let me go to JSON. Does it explain? Okay. So the value and the name. Let's just confirm JSON encoded array and see if any image just to show me how it looks. Oh, I wish. Okay, so it is. How does it look in PHP? I just want to see how it is returned in PHP, so I know, is because basically all you have to just do is remember how it is returned, and you can easily work with it. So just give me a minute, because my brain is. Well, in case anybody knows how the return format should look like, please let me know. I wish there was a, let's see, web design. It will take me a while, but first, let me just guess. I think square braces and the curly braces for each. If that doesn't work, then you let me know. So first, I think it's first square braces, then for each value, we now use curly braces, I believe. So, how is it? Why is my brain? I should have actually tested this thing out before coming on this live stream. This is what happens when you have not done a live stream in a while. Okay, yeah. So basically, he needs to. I think we need to return the array as a key value pair. So, if I can remember correctly, if I can zoom, or let me open it in a VS Code or something, so that it's easy to present it. So, open a new file. Let's just open a random folder, select folder. Is that what the autos? Oh no. New file, HTML. Okay, create file. Okay, so I think all I'm just trying to do is return an array of JSON encoded data. So I think it's something like this. Then it will be value colon, then my value, right? I think something like that. So if I can, so yeah, I believe this is how JSON arrays are. So value, or my value, then comma, right? Then label, my label. Yep. So I believe this is how JSON arrays are, right? Or if I'm not mistaken, something like this. Then, so yeah, I think this. So all I have to do is just return my array in this format. And we'll see if it works. Just colon, because I did it before when in one of my projects, but I can't remember where I did it. So that's why I'm slow now. So first, let me copy this array. Then I'll probably do it in a PowerShot code here as well, just to save myself some stress. Yeah, so that is with breaks forge, their select field, you have to return it in their dynamic data has to be returned as a JSON formatted array. Basically, you have to format it yourself as a JSON dynamic data. So it's a JSON. If you look at I don't know why they didn't explain it here. So it says, so basically you have to return it as a JSON formatted array in terms of value, label, and if it's active or not active. So that's how you have to return it. Otherwise, it will not work. So that's why I think so we'll start with this. Let me just break them up into new sections so it's easy. Then the template, where does the template start from? Okay, and the new line is this one. So the main thing we just need to work on is here. So first we need a square brace to enclose everything. Then we need each of our options to have curly braces. So within the template, we'll start with a curly brace space and a curly brace to close it. And we need a comma as well, right? Yeah. So then Okay, yeah. So yeah, I guess it's better not to really continue with this because I only did it for there was a slight limitation once when I was working on something, so I had to use dynamic data. So I formatted it as JSON arrays using dynamic shortcodes. But maybe it should be in one of my videos I did when I was talking about select fields. If I remember, yeah, let's see. But that's basically all for today. If anybody has any questions, you can just let me know. Let's see. Yep. Then videos, and let me just search for select. No, that is. Let's see. I think it was one of these. Or let me just do BricsForge. I think that's easier way. BricsForge. I do believe I put the code there somewhere. BricsForge. And building forms, front-end form, bulk. Okay, yes, that's it. Bulk, add options. I believe the code should be yes. Did I write the code? Oh, that's weird. I thought I wrote the code somewhere here. The help you bulk option using JSON encoded data. Dynamic and okay, data and radio field. Oh no, I'm going to be in, my live stream is going to be in trouble now with all of this code. The sounds from. Okay, yes, exactly. So this was what I was looking for. This is how it should return. You have to just basically return in JSON encoded data, and that's it. Once you use the label column, the value returned as a JSON encoded value, and it will work. But so in case anybody is looking for the code, it's in one of my earlier videos. I knew I've done it before, but I just forgot. So yeah. So that's it for today. I hope you all had I've learned something from the video. Hopefully, the future live streams will be more streamlined and be more interactive. And before we go, I think at the end of the day, most people said that using the dynamic shortcodes integrated into dynamic content for Elementor, only a few people are still using it with dynamic tokens. And I would say if you're still using dynamic tokens, please just migrate to dynamic shortcodes. It's the syntax is not that hard. It's easy to like use dynamic shortcodes. But yeah, that's it. So thank you all for tuning in today. It was you all have made my day because I was feeling a bit it's been a while, so I've been feeling a bit tensed up getting into this. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, all right. Thank you all, and we'll see you, I think, same time next month. Bye.